All right, all right. First and foremost, hand claps all around. Hand claps all around.
Yes, sir.
We got the one and only keyboard kid 206 in the building. How you doing, man?
Hey, doing good, doing real good.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I was thinking about either wearing the shades or wearing the rag today. So I was I got the rag today. You know what I'm saying? So I
Okay.
see you dripped out, man. Got the
I
bathing
mean,
apes on. Oh, he
that,
got the. Yes,
we
sir.
got
Yes,
always.
sir. Hey man, so I want to thank you so much for joining me, man, on this podcast, ones and twos, man. If you guys are watching the ones and twos, we got Keyboard Kid, the one and only man, super producer. If you're listening to this on Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube, whatever platform we got on, make sure to like and subscribe and follow our guest. I'm gonna put all of his information in the link below. If you do have questions, by the way, question mark at the very bottom, man. Let's get into it, man. So, hey, Keyboard Kid, like I said, it's an honor, man, having you on here. So.
I
Tell us,
appreciate
man, where you from, man?
Hey, man, Helen from Seattle, Washington.
Okay.
Um, that's where I reside. Currently living in Bellevue, Washington, across the lake. But yeah, Seattle's what I rep. So shout out to Seattle 206. Every place in and between out here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. See, I've never been to Seattle, but I definitely got to go check it out. I heard that it rains a lot over there. Is that true?
Yeah, definitely. It definitely
Yeah.
rains a lot. It definitely rains a lot, but that's why it's so green and lush, and we got a lot of forests and lakes and
Mm,
rivers, a lot of that
okay.
cool. It's a nice place though. The best time I recommend if you do want to visit is definitely catch us in the summertime. I say like late July, August, early
Hmm.
September even. It's real beautiful. Don't be too hot, but it'd be real nice blue skies. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? All that good stuff. So.
Okay. Well, you know what? I think I'm gonna make a trip up there next year, man. For sure,
Yeah,
for
let me
sure. I
know.
got a
Let me
lot
know.
of Yeah, I got a lot of stuff coming up next year, man. Lots of, different random weddings and stuff. So I'll be all over the nation, man. Mostly in Texas and Houston, but I definitely will make some time to come out to Seattle, man, for the first time.
Oh yeah.
Seattle. And that's on the west, so we on the
Big shout out to
y'all.
Texas though. Texas is actually a home for me too though. I
Yeah.
actually spent a lot of time in Dallas. My pops is from out there,
Okay.
so this whole side of the family, and I actually went to school in West Mesquite. I went to West
Okay.
Mesquite for a little while in Mesquite, outside of Dallas. A little suburb out there.
Okay. That's what's up. And you know what's funny is I've been living in Dallas for the past, I'd say 8 years, right? But
Right.
I'm from a small place called Wichita Falls. I'm from the country, you know what I mean? And
Okay.
it's like I moved to Dallas, because of the whole music thing. So,
Right.
speaking about music, man, like when did you start getting into music, man? And what made you want to get into it?
Man, honestly, like music's something I always been drawn to ever since like I was little, as a little kid and everything. And mom's was real big into the music, and my dad was big into the music. Like my mom used to, be into dancing a lot and things like that. So she
Hmm.
always played like good music around the house, and I think that was something I always was like interested in doing. And even as like a kid, I would like like play on the little keyboards and make up songs and things like
Okay.
that. And I tried to play the trumpet. I played that for a little while when I was younger in school, so I learned a bit about music in elementary. And I ended up breaking my finger playing little league football, so I missed a lot of lessons.
Oh
So
shit.
yeah, so I never really picked it back up as far as like the trumpet went. So it was just something I always loved and I always paid attention to. Even as a kid, I would like read the credits and the CDs and see who made what, and who was the producers behind the scenes and things like that. And I'd say I really started getting really interested though into like high school, and I wanted to make beats. And that was around the time where it was like early Rockefeller, like Blueprint One,
Mm,
like things like that. And I was just really big into the soul samples and music at the time.
yeah.
So I was like, I got to figure this out. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to make some shit like this.
Mm,
And I really wanted to get like some turntables and like sample records. But turntables was kind of expensive. Like back then it was like for some Technics or something. You spend a couple racks. You know what I'm saying?
couple racks at least.
Right. So I was like, damn, that's kind of too expensive. But we always had like a computer in the home because my mom she was had just got a job at Microsoft and stuff like that.
Mm.
And so she was just doing, you know, like assistant type work and stuff, but she always made it, you know, stress that we should be, you know, well versed in using computers. You know what I'm saying? So
Facts.
we had, you know, we had a computer in the house. So I was hip on with the internet and like, you know, downloading back then, like, you know, since them Napster days and all of that stuff. So I basically figured out how to download like a version of Fruity Loops. And it was just by chance, honestly. I was like, what is this? Like, I was just trying to find some software to make something. I remember like they had like corny shit though, like EDJ, things like that or something like that. And you could just like loop sounds, like break beats. But I was like, this ain't what I'm looking for. Like, I want
It's
to build
within Fruity Loops you're talking about this program?
No, it was something separate, like EDJ or something like that. It was just something I found, but it was like loops, you know, like you couldn't really make your own beats.
Yeah.
But anyway, I figured out how to download Fruity Loops. It was like a real early version though, like probably like FL3 or something crazy.
Damn. He go way. This is the OG we talking to right here.
Yeah, it's like I'm definitely Fruity Loops OG. Like the only person I knew that was using Fruity Loops for a fact back then was like Knife Wonder. And like I was big on his production too, like Little Brother and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like I'm a huge fan of their music. And so I was like, yo, if Knife can do it, like there's gotta be a way to make fire on here. So I just kept at it, you know what I'm saying? Like definitely spent some summers in the crib. Just figuring out
3 summers, right?
You know what I'm saying? Like real talk. I was like using Fruit Loops. And like at first it was like me and my little brother. He's only like 2 years younger than me. And so when I first started, he was big into like figuring it out too. And he was real cold at it. He actually figured out how to do the drums and stuff real nice. And then I figured out how to like basically like get sample files in there. And I figured out how to use the slicer and things of that nature when they implemented it into Fruity Loops.
Yeah.
So, man, it just kind of, you know, just something I loved. It was a hobby. And then eventually, you know, like a couple friends of mine, I wouldn't say shit, but I would throw a beat on, you know, in the car when we be freestyling and, you know.
That's how you know it's hot.
Yeah, and then, like, I remember nobody really said anything, but I just kept rapping. And then, like, the end, I was like, I made that. They're like, nah, you didn't make that. And I was like, yeah, I made that. So they're like, damn, this is fire. Like, you gotta, they really were encouraging when I was starting out. And they were like, man, you gotta get somebody to rap on these, you know, like, for real or something. So that's just kind of how it started, you know.
Yeah, that's what's up.
I was probably about 18, you know, around that time, like getting out of high school.
Okay. I think that's a good age to start getting into the music industry seriously, you know what I mean? Like get your high school stuff and then you could dive into it. If y'all know me on my Nitty Gritty podcast, I'm not really a strong advocate for college and stuff like that, but at least do the high school shit first, you know what I mean? Now I want to talk about the DAWs and stuff like that. I mean, do you also call them DAWs?
Oh yeah, I know what they are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I call them DAWs, VSTs, or whatever.
Right.
Synthesized instruments, whatever you call them, you know.
I wasn't familiar with that term until I went to NAMM a few years ago, and I kept saying that I got Reason, I got Fruity Loops, I got this thing called Acid Pro or something like that.
Right.
And this guy's like, "Oh, those are all DAWs." I'm like, "What the?" He's like, "Oh, okay." Yeah. So when I told him, when I was talking to some folks, and this has been since I started using Fruity Loops, right? And you brought up a very good point about Ninth Wonder using it, and I was like, "Okay, Fruity Loops, Pro Tools, Reason Adapted, all the Garage Band, even they're all DAWs, right? And they all can make music. If you can make music, you can use whatever DAW, right?" Everybody would talk so much shit about Fruity Loops. Oh, you got Fruity Loops, man. You need to get the supercharged Turbo Plus for $1,200. I'm like, well, when I really thought about it, I was like, hold on, man. I'm listening to the radio every day. Soulja Boy was high at the time. Franchise Boys, and I was like, I swear to God, I heard all these instruments on Fruity Loops.
Right. No, real talk.
You know what I mean? So what do you think about, like, do you really believe that you don't really have to have the most expensive DAW to make a platinum record? You don't need all the bells and whistles. You just have to have the talent, right?
Right. I think like talent's always gonna go a long way. Like you got talent and it's just innately in you, you know, that's gonna speak volumes for like what you end up creating, you know. I feel like, especially like when I was coming up, like it was like, you know, the turn, like the end of the early 2000s. So for me, you know, at that time it was big, like blog, DIY.
Mm.
So I definitely believe it's all about whatever, however you feel comfortable. Like to me, dodge, it's not that important what you use. It's like the end result you get, you know?
Mm.
So I think it's all about what's comfortable. It's kind of like a car or something, like whatever type of car you like, you know what I'm saying? You might like to drive a coupe, you might like a convertible, you might like a SUV, you know
Mm.
what I'm saying? I just think it's kind of like the vehicle to get your ideas across, you know what I'm saying? So it's all
Facts.
you're comfortable using. Like to me, Fruity Loop just looked visually appealing, and it was really easy for me to navigate and basically get my idea, get my point across. Like figured out
Mm.
how to sequence in there real easy.
Mm.
Um, I tried Reason, and that was Reason was fire, but it was like, yo, you got to know a little bit more about music. Like you're just jumping into
Yeah.
the, you never really use like actual hardware racks, and you know what I'm saying? Like
It's a
I feel
learning
like
curve for sure.
yeah, it's a little bit of a learning curve, so it's a little more intimidating. I feel like so. I think it's just about what you're comfortable using. Because there's people like you said. I mean, I know people that make fire and GarageBand, you know, and people that
Tell me.
made like an Acid. Like I was big friends with, I'm big friends with Clams Casino, and
Mm.
he was using Acid Pro for like the longest time. Like I don't know if he still might use it. He might have. I know he used a lot of other stuff too, but back in the day, that was what he used a lot. And also, one of my buddies was in Blue Sky Black Death, a producer group that was real big, and
Mm.
they used Acid too, like a super old version, but they were making like amazing records, you know. And there's still people that use just straight hardware. So I mean, it just all depends on what you do, you know.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, man, because I believe a producer isn't really set to a certain standard. I mean, that
Right,
could be a music because I spent maybe the past 15 years of my life being a percussionist, and
right.
we would make music. I could literally just tap on a desk and whistle and snap my fingers and make a record. You know what
Right.
I mean? Shouts out Pharrell. If you guys don't know Pharrell,
Oh,
get
yeah.
familiar. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like, so when it comes to music, technology is always advancing. You know, you brought up a good point about your mom saying get acclimated with computers. Computers,
Right.
computers. Like we all know, the nerds are running the future now, right? They
Right.
always will. And
Right.
when it comes to musical technology, they're always finding easier, I guess you would say, better ways to make
Right.
better quality music. But I feel that it's taken away from, I guess you would say, the musicianship. I
Right.
saw a program on this ad. Every time I watch YouTube, I get this ad, and I don't want to say the name of the program, but it really kind of irked me because it's like make a beat just by putting this plug in, press two buttons, and you can set all the chords you want. And I'm just like, what? Like, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like, I
No,
spent
no, I
years learning
feel it.
music theory. I was like,
I
to
feel
do a
it.
C minor diminished and do all that, you could just press a button and hum into a mic, and it. I was like, okay, well, so what do you
Right.
think about that? Do producers really need to know like music theory hardcore to be good at this shit, or like what?
Man, I'll keep it real. Like, I didn't really know music theory like hardcore when I
Mm.
started. I just kind of always played by ear and just went off the feeling. I think it's really about the feeling, you know, because I feel like that's why a lot of kids now can jump online and or download a program and make a record that just goes and people feel it. But you know, some of that sometimes it's like lightning striking, right? You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Like it might just be an idea that worked, you know, but without really knowing music theory, you might not know how to get back to what you even created. So I
Mm.
think for me, like the more I did music, the more as after I got, you know, to a point where I was even, you know, selling beats or whatever, I wanted to go back and learn more. So I feel like it's important to be a student. I don't think it necessarily matters like how trained you are if you're
Mm.
willing to like always learn and add
Yeah.
to your craft and you know, and get better and try to play an instrument or something, you know what I'm saying? Because essentially computers are the instruments, but there's also a very organic, I feel like, feel that you can only get from, you know, maybe a drum set and actually
Mm.
somebody being a percussionist like as yourself, or even guitars or piano rhythms and just things like that. Like, you know, I feel like if you know how to play, you know, it's gonna sound great. You know what I'm saying? But even
Yeah.
then, sometimes it's like you almost want to don't be too trained and I say that when it comes to like maybe hip hop, you know, rap sometimes, because I feel like a lot of the music it's not overly orchestrated. You know what I'm saying? Like, it depends on what you're doing, but I don't know. I feel like sometimes I find myself as a producer, like I gotta take layers away. Like like when you're creating, you add so many layers into the track, different instruments. Sometimes like less is more, I'd say, just with like hip hop and pop records and stuff. But
I definitely agree.
you know what I'm saying? But I'm totally like an advocate for like people learning the craft and being a real musician, and honestly just having a love for the art. You know, it doesn't matter if you're not the greatest musician, but if you love the music and you're bringing that love and that passion into whatever it is you're creating, then I think like that's what matters the most, you know?
Yeah, I definitely feel you. When you brought up the thing about layers, I had purchased probably all your mixtapes that you had on Bandcamp a few years ago. Like you had the anime one. Bro, first of all, let me tell you, your mixtape covers are very interesting. I'll just say that for the least. I like the artwork on that. And it's just, you said about layers, like you have a lot of layers, a lot of saturation into your beats. And I think that makes it really cool because, and you brought up a point about your homeboys rapping on it. Like me, honestly, I couldn't rap on a lot of the albums I bought, but I would sit back and just kind of get lost into the music. Like, you know what I mean? It's like music, you know what I mean? That's why I really respect your orchestration, your productions, man, because I feel that it's real music, you know what I mean? Especially anime samples. Another thing is you brought up about hip hop. I definitely agree. Hip hop, it's like that genre. It just can't be. You can't calculate it. You know what I mean? Like honestly, I don't think you could teach people. You can't really go to school to rap. It's just something you pick up off of vibes. You know what I mean?
It's like, you know, living the culture. You know, like living life and just being immersed in those situations or those environments. I think is really what matters most. I mean, and that goes like just the same. If I grew up in a household where it was, or an environment where it was like classical art or classical music, you know, it probably would work well to my advantage to make classical music. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So I think like with hip hop, like you said, it's like it's always evolving because it's like it's of the people. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
It comes from the streets, it comes from the community, you know what I'm saying, and the youth, you know what I'm saying, like the kids, you know. So you know, hip hop's very special in that way, and that's why it's grown to be one of the biggest, you know, music genre in the world. You know what I'm saying? So,
and I think it will be for a very, very long time because I mean I've done Indian weddings, like Indian Punjabi weddings. I've done bar mitzvahs. There's always been a certain point. Even African weddings, it's just like there's a hip hop element to everything. And I'm just so shocked that, man, something that started in somebody's basement off of a DJ playing on some broken needles and a technique and records with all these fingerprints on it turned out to be the biggest genre in the whole world. So you're part of that culture, man. You know what I'm saying? And one of your homeboys is also a big part of it too, a big part of my era. You know, shouts out to the MySpace era, the MySpace kids. Homeboy, Lil B, the BasedGod. When y'all came to Dallas, I think in 2015, 2016. You know, I do apologize. I did miss that show because I had a show myself that night. But my homeboy Felton came out and he said that y'all turned the house down at Profit Bar. And I was like, damn, that is what's up.
Live. It was a lot of love in Texas, man. Texas, it's always a good time out there when we perform. You know what I'm saying? It's always a good time. Like I was real bummed. We actually were gonna do a show out there right at the beginning of the pandemic, and it was gonna be Lil B, me, Father, and I believe Melty Cannon and Tisa Korean in Dallas. So it was gonna be lit. It was definitely gonna be like real swagged up event. You know what I'm saying?
We open now. We're wide open now. I mean, Bomb Factory's open, Gas Monkey's open. So Spoon Productions, man, hit them up because they've been booking me for a lot of stuff out here, bro. I was surprised. I was like, I got booked at a show. I was in this big ass plaza for AT&T, and I was like, there's no way that I got booked for this with all this stuff. You know, we're not gonna say it on here, but the variant going on and stuff. I was like, there's no way this is going on. They're like, no, it's cool. We're gonna put you on a stage. You're not around the people. I'm like, all right, that makes sense.
It's lit.
I'm like, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, definitely
But
ready to
like,
get back at it. We got a lot of stuff in the works though, so we'll be
yeah,
back. We'll be back soon. We make a lot of new music, so
keep
we'll be back.
grinding, man.
Yeah, you know.
What what's it like now? I'm pretty sure everybody's curious. You know, the bass guy. You know, he's a very interesting character to say the least.
Right.
So, what's it like working with Lil B, the bass god?
Man, it's fun, you know what I'm saying? Like I've been knowing him for years, you know what I'm saying now, so it's like it's just brotherhood, you know. It's fun time.
Mm-hmm.
It's not hard like when we make art, it's not a stressful thing. Like we really be, you know, we have a good wavelength. I feel like we beyond like it without words even spoken a lot of the times. Like I'll make something or a certain track and I'll be like, yo, I
Mm-hmm.
made these tracks, da da da. Or like I might not even say nothing. I just haven't made some shit lately. And then he'll be like, yo, I need some beats like this. And it like literally will be the exact same vibe or beat style that he was just like expressing that I literally just had created. So with
Mm-hmm.
him, it's an unspoken thing, man. We kind of just clicked from the jump. And it's like I'll just send him some stuff and he does his thing. Or, you know, he might have an idea or concept that he'll send my way and he'd be like, yo,
Mm-hmm.
I need keyboard swag for this or whatever. So he'll send it my way. But we just even just art in general, music, you know, we tap in, hey, what you listening to, you know, what you on right now, you know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
what's the vibe you've been into or whatever.
Yeah,
And
just kind of building out the vibes
yeah,
and stuff.
on our vibe, just sharing like, you know, what the art styles we've been into, or if we find somebody that we feel like, oh yo, have you heard of this kid? Or even like,
Yeah.
yo, I'm listening to the old Jay-Z Reasonable Doubt right now, bro. It got me, I'm in the zone right now. Like, you know, we just discuss whatever, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
I feel
we
that's how it always has to be when you're with the artist. Like if you really
right,
want to make something that's original and quality, like when I produce for artists, I like you said the same thing. It's a vibe. We
right,
go usually it starts out with us going to a hookah lounge
right,
and we
right,
just smoking, chiefing off the hookah, and then whatever we had going on in that conversation in that circle, we go to the studio, is that's what the song is usually gonna be about. And it's just like
right.
seamless. It's like I get, start the beats first, hi-hats going, and it's just literally straight vibe. Like it's literally
Right.
like not even a thought process. It's just like, oh, I like that. Like do that, do that. Like you're not even really, I don't know. It's so hard to explain, man. That's what I love
Uh,
about art.
yeah.
It's just
It's
pure
amazing.
expression. It's beautiful.
Facts.
You know what
Facts.
I mean? And we got to keep the arts alive, man. You know what I mean? And I feel that the pandemic has definitely ruined a lot of things, especially for my DJ homies, man.
Right.
Bro, it was tough. You know what I mean? And
It was
that's
tough.
why,
It's tough.
yeah,
It's tough.
it was so hard. And that's why I like people like you who also produce. And I've been telling DJs, y'all could spin. Y'all know what the record should sound like. Every weekend y'all play, you guys
Right.
know what to play. Why not dabble in, some producing? You got
Yeah,
time now, watch some
exactly.
YouTube, get some DAWs, like learn some shit.
It
You
just
know what I
takes a
mean?
little time, just a little time. And like you said, DJs, I feel like it's perfect because I mean, like you said, they know key, they know BPM, they know tempo. You know what I'm saying? They understand how
Mm,
to read the room, and you know what moves the people. You know what I'm saying?
right.
So like you said, it'd be very advantageous for DJs to learn to produce as well. I mean, and there's also so many platforms and avenues and ways to sell your music
Hmm.
and stuff like that. I think it'd be very smart to just pivot into having material that you can give to the people that love to come see you DJ. That's those same people. If you make some good music, you know, it don't take
Hmm.
much, you know, but a hit record, you know, one hit, one
Yeah.
slapping record, and then you'll have ways to make some more passive income in case something like the pandemic or something happens again.
Yeah.
Because I know for it definitely was a hit. You know what I'm saying? Like not doing that live, not doing anything live is, you know, that's bread and butter for a lot of people. So
Yeah.
you know, that was hurting, you know. But
It's
it's like
tough, man.
I will say it's like vice versa too. Like producers like learn to DJ, you know what I'm saying? When I first started producing, I didn't really know how to DJ, but I always
Uh-huh.
wanted to DJ because that was like one of my first loves is like the DJ aspect of it. And so I learned like after the fact when people started approaching me to perform my material, and
Mm.
I was like, oh, they're like, do you do live shows? We got some money for you. And I'm like, oh,
See what I
I do
mean?
now. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, you feel me? So I learned how to used like Ableton at first and was doing that, and then
Okay. You started on
I
the
had,
house music software. There you
yeah,
go.
and Ableton's fire. That's really one of my favorite programs right there. I love Ableton.
Facts.
Ableton's amazing. You can do so many things with that, man. Shout out
Yeah.
to Ableton. But
You
then I
don't
went
fuck
from
with
that.
Serato or?
Yeah, that's what I said. I went from that, then I jumped on Serato, and I was originally still using placeholders on the Serato. So I like
Okay.
the feel of the vinyl because that's always what I wanted to do. So I had the placeholders, you feel me? So I was doing that. But then when I started touring
Tell
more,
you, man, get that vinyl, baby.
man, that's what I love. But I started touring more, and it was a lot easier to hop on the CDJs with the USB. So
Right.
I started doing the USB connects and doing the Serato DJ like that. But
There's a tool. I'm glad you brought up CDJs, man. I see if I could find it in here. But hold on 1 second.
yeah,
Whew. Brief intermission, y'all. If y'all are watching this, man, make sure to tune in. Spotify, SoundCloud. I'm glad you brought up CDJs because I had to interject and bring this up, man. You got to get one of these right here.
okay.
You got to get one of these. This is called an SP1. Every gig I did that has CDJs on it, and you know when you play, you used to controllers, right? They don't have this, they don't have that. This right here, USB plug it in your computer. It'll turn the CDJs into. It'll make you feel like you're back at home. It'll make it feel so easy, because even the newer CDJs do not have good sensitive touch pads or effects. And I'm like, yo, all my DJs, get laptop and get an SP1 whenever you travel, because you never know what the club's going to have. They could have an SRT. They could just have turntables. They could just have CDJs. But y'all used to play on the pads, get the SP1. I'm telling y'all.
Okay, I'm going to check that out. I didn't even know about that one.
Yeah, you got to get it.
Just like a little DJM too.
Okay.
A little Pioneer DJM.
Yeah.
Electronics.
Okay. Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, definitely get that gear. So, you know, we got a few more minutes left. I'm not going to keep you long. So tell us real quick. Every guest I have on here, man, we always like to know, you know, their path, because everybody I have on here, man, interesting people, man. You guys are hard grinders. I've had athletes. I've had, we got a doctor coming on soon, producers. Tell us, like, what has been like the highest, or what you would say so far in your life, the highest moment in your production career?
Man, that's tough. But the highest moment I'd say for me was probably when I did the production on Clams, with Clams on Clams album, and we dropped Witness. I think for me that was just like a huge thing, because it was like one of the early dealings I had with like a big label, like talking with Sony and talking to people at that label, and man, we just like parlayed a tour off of it. We shot a music video out in SF, and it was a nice set, you know, big crib, you know, like all the works, you know. And then I think the biggest moment too is like when the video dropped. It was on MTV, BET, you know, like all those little networks, you know what I'm saying? So to me, that's one of those big things, because, you know, cats grew up watching all that, you know, BET, MTV videos, you know what I'm saying? Like that was on all day in the house. So it was like those moments where you could say to mom, like, yeah, I was on TV, you know what I'm saying? It's just one of those things, you know, you just feel like as a personal accomplishment, cats can't take that from you, you know? And one of those moments, like,
I definitely respect that. I really respect that, because it's like, you know what, when I have my kids one day, and by the way, if I didn't tell you happy Father's Day, you know, happy anniversary, everything in your family, you are a family man.
Thank you.
And I always I respect my men out here, family man, following their dreams and handling their family business, man. I'm telling you, y'all can do it both. Telling y'all, man, you can. Like, y'all got to stop, get out this mentality, man. You can have a loving family and love your craft at the same time. Look, this is living proof right here.
Facts.
Come on.
Do it, man. It's tough work, but it's like, it's worth it. And it's the most amazing, beautiful thing to be able to share your accomplishments with your family. And
I love it.
like my daughters now, you know what I'm saying? They're getting older. Like my first daughter's in kindergarten now, but it's cool. Like when she discovering her little music, and
That's what I was about to say. They're gonna get in music too.
and it's like one thing that was cool for me too is funny when she liked Soulja Boy Crank That. Like she discovered it from TikTok and all that. And I was like, yo, I was like, Dad did songs with Soulja Boy, you know what I'm saying? Like I did a few beats for Soulja Boy. She was like, what? You did music for Soulja Boy? Like she was like super shocked. She was like, wow, you know a lot of people. So that was just
That's good.
Cool stuff, you know what I'm saying? That makes it real fun.
Yeah, I love hearing that stuff, man. So even with our careers, we have high moments and we also have like very low moments in our life, man. You're still running the game, but if you don't mind sharing, if you want to share, what has been like one of like a low moment that you've had in your production career and how did you overcome it to get to where you're at today?
Man, to keep it real, man, I feel like some of the lowest times you may go through, to keep it real. I mean, this is just for me personally. I think it's like when you starting out, you know what I'm saying? Like when you starting out, and it's like people don't believe, you know, like there's times when no one believes or could see the vision you see, or you know what I'm saying, for yourself and where you want to be in your life. So I feel like it's hard in the beginning, you know, when you start, you don't have nothing, you know what I'm saying? Like for me, it was just, I was, you know, just young and just got a, you know, first little apartment. And it was, you know, working, hustling, you know what I'm saying? I was working a 9 to 5 at the mall. I was doing like cell phone sales, still trying to make beats, just kind of like in that limbo period. It's like, damn, like, you know, is this going to crack? Is this going to go? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's really going on? And it was like, I was like, got to the point where I just fed up working my job at that point. So I quit, you know what I'm saying? Like right before the holiday season, I'll never forget. I was working at Auburn Super Mall out here selling cell phones in this smart wireless place or whatever. And they was just working me crazy. It was, you know, it was whack. So anyways, I was like, you know, I'm done. I like at that point, I was like one of the only people in the store at this particular store we were in. And I was working like crazy hours to the point where I wasn't getting like my breaks right or nothing. And then one time I had to shut the store down and like go use the bathroom, get some food, you know what I'm saying? So then the boss dude showed up, like one of the like regional dudes, and he tried to like cop an attitude about me shutting down the store. And I was like,
oh
yo,
my gosh,
like I gotta get food, I gotta have breaks. Like this is honestly illegal if you want to get technical about it, you know what I'm saying? And so basically he was like, let's talk about it. And I was like, you know what? I'm good. And he's like, what do you mean? I was like, I don't really want to talk about it. I was like, I quit. You know, so I basically quit there on the spot. I had some money saved up, and it was like right before the new year. I went through the new year, and then we got into like maybe like February of the next year or whatever. And it was like, it was getting low. Funds was running low. Stress, ladies on me, you know, my girls on me, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's good? And it was to the point I was like, man, like if something don't crack off in like the next 2 weeks, I'm about to go back to work. So to me, that was like a real low, discouraging time. But you know what? I kept at it, and I kid you not, like it got to be like a week before I had to go do something else. And I got 2 emails. I got one from Red Bull, and I got one from the New York New Museum. And they wanted me to come perform some live shows and do a little spring break thing at Red Bull. And it was like back-to-back dates.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's when it came through, and like got paid a couple $1,000, and it was
nice started right there.
Yeah, it was a nice start. Red Bull pays handsomely. Shout out to Red Bull, you know, shout out to the museum, you know, all expenses paid trips type thing, and went out there, did my thing, and then man, it's been on ever since. So
see, I love hearing that, man. You took a risk.
It went from a real low to a high, but it was like that was a real low point, because it was like man, it was like back against the wall. You feel me? But sometimes it luckily for me it worked out. You know, God looked out. So
yeah, you know what? You took a risk, man. I like, you know what I mean? It sounds kind of funny, but when people say, you know, when they work a job or something they don't like I quit. Sometimes we just have to have the courage to, you know, to say that, man. You know what I'm talking about? And
Right.
luckily you had some funds saved up. Like you kind of were calculated on, you had a plan. You're like, if it don't work out, at least I can go back. But at least you took that chance, man. And just a
Right.
few months, man. I mean, that's not long at all, bro. You were consistent. Bro, I'm telling you, man, we all gotta start taking more risks. Like with this DJ
Right.
shit, I never knew I'd be a DJ. I was a producer doing what you're doing, and then
Right.
that wasn't working out. But then they got onto me about DJing, like do some shows. Next thing you
Right.
know, I'm paying rent just DJing shows. I was like, well, I need to work a regular. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Right.
I do also, but it's like I could just DJ now because I took that chance, man, that investment. And DJing is expensive, just so
Yeah.
y'all know. So if y'all gonna buy all this equipment, just get
Oh
some
yeah.
gigs out of it too.
Oh yeah. Facts.
Yeah, the
No,
techniques,
but that's the
they
thing
actually,
though. If you take it serious, like sometimes, like you said, you gotta just take that first step, and like you got a little money saved up, you need that equipment, you want to DJ, like buy it and invest in yourself. I think the main thing is like not being scared to invest in yourself, and that may be monetarily, it might be the
Mhm.
time. You know what I'm saying? But either way, man, you gotta bet on yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, sometimes that's all we got is ourselves. So you gotta just go hard, you know what I'm saying? And it works out. Not everything works perfectly, but you know what I'm saying, at the end of the day, even if it don't work 100%, you'll at least know that you took that chance and to make it happen. So on some
Mhm.
real base positivity, you know what I'm saying? Like always invest in yourself. And that may be, like I said, that might be not monetarily, but also time wise. Like, you know, teach yourself a new skill, a new trade, like during this pandemic, even like my dad started a home remodeling business.
Nice.
So I was work with him and just learn a new trade, you know what I'm saying? So I got to
Mhm.
learn about remodeling homes, doing bathrooms, um, kitchens, building decks, just whatever, like from top to bottom, like because he's a general contractor. So I just learned that business from the top to bottom, and I'm still learning and doing that as
That's what's
well.
up.
So that's just something else to have, and like for me, it's like even with this music, it's like I want to get into investing. It's very important for us to get into investing. I think as a black man, and as for our people, we got to start ownership. You know what I'm saying? Start investing in real estate,
Yes.
starting small businesses, using this internet, e-commerce, whatever you can get popping, man. There's a market for it. You just put it out there.
Exactly. You know what I mean? And I'm glad you said black business because that's something we really need to be focusing on. There's so much talent out here in our communities, man. West Coast to the South to the East Coast, man. It's like put it out there, man. You see a brother. If even the thing about me is like I know a lot of folks when they see a black product, if it's not something that they like, they won't buy it. They won't even they just ignore it. I'm like, nah, man. Okay, don't if you don't like it, don't buy it, but at least give some input on it. Just tell them
Right,
like help them out, like lead them
right,
to something else. Say, hey, you know what? Your beats, you could do some work on it, but hey, go follow Keyboard Kid's page and listen to his stuff. Shoot him in a
right,
DM, shoot him an email. He probably can help you out a little bit. Or hey, you know what? You got your construction thing, your baseboards ain't really lined up right. So, let me point you in direction. How about you?
right,
And I feel like we as black people, we need to start doing that more. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Just build somebody up. And because I mean, we're powerful, man. Look at hip
Facts.
hop.
That's
Like
that's
that's a
key.
prime
That's
example.
very key. That's prime example. And what you said is very key. It's like at least, like you said, not ignoring it, but at least giving good dialogue and good feedback back. You know what I'm saying, to people
Hmm.
that are doing things like you said, like give them some dialogue on it, even if it's the product, ain't exactly what it was. But man, if it's not the colorway, like that somebody dropped on their their independent shoe line, like man, maybe drop a red and black one. I might cop that. You know what I'm saying, or
See what I
whatever.
mean?
Just little things like that. I think for us too, I think it's like we can't be gatekeepers in that sense. Like we got to share the information with each other, because there's plenty to go
Hmm.
around, and that's what
Yeah.
a lot of the communities of people do. They don't, you know, knock down each other. They share the information. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
I think as more of us become successful entrepreneurs, and things of that nature, we got to make sure we, give back and give positive feedback, and you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying, and
Yeah.
try to get back in that sense too. You know what I'm saying? So,
I
put
definitely
on the
agree.
next.
Because it's like if I help my people eat, you know what I'm saying? It's like you help your community eat, then your community is gonna be strong. They got to be fed to build up, right? So it's
Right,
like That only makes sense. But you know what, Keyboard Kid, bro, it's been such an honor. I cannot say that enough. That I thank you so much for even being on my platform tonight,
Thank
man.
you
I
for
really do
having
appreciate it. From the
me. Hey,
West Coast, man, take your time out of your day. You know I got support back. So hey, you got some new projects, new albums out, some new
yeah,
merch I
yeah.
can cop
We
from you.
staying, yeah, we staying real busy, man.
Yeah.
Like my latest project, if anyone wants to go check that out, was the Sinai Syndicate. That's me and two rappers from Seattle, Washington. Some
Hmm.
of the most important artists come out of my hometown in the recent years, along with myself, Nacho Picasso and Kina Yada, and then also Sango Beats did some production on there with me on the album. So it's a very dope
Hmm.
album. Another project I did was with a Seattle artist, a rapper named Dizzy Slick. He's locked up actually right now in San Quentin, but he recorded the whole album from behind bars.
Wow.
Sounds amazing. We got mentioned in a lot of the papers here, Seattle Times, one of the best albums of the year to come out so far. So check that out. Also, you know, I'm working on a next project of mine, Minecraft 2. Just started production on that. I've been working on dropping a lot of NFTs and rare digital collectibles with brand new music for those drops that come out. So check my Twitter out for those drops. I got links on there for that.
Hmm.
Me and B working on Red Flame After the Fire right now. So it's a whole new project coming out. He actually just hit me today, recorded some
Yeah.
stuff on my music. So, man, we staying busy, man. We always working. So,
I like hearing that, man. I like hearing that. And I know we're kind of over time, man, but we do have some questions that came in. Do you have time for that?
yeah, I'm chilling. So,
Okay, so we have a question right here. Who's your favorite artist from Seattle? You might have just mentioned them. I'm not sure.
um, man, there's a lot of artists from Seattle that I actually really like. But yeah, two of the favorites, honestly, some of the favorites is the ones I just mentioned, and that's no cap, like Sango,
Okay,
um,
I'm gonna check them out.
producer from out
Sango.
here, Nacho Picasso,
Okay.
Kina Yada. Man, those are to me some of the dopest cats from out here. Some young
Mm.
cats from like Tacoma coming up, Lil Booth.
Lil
Uh,
Booth, like B
yeah,
O O F.
yep. He's
Okay.
filthy. Man, I'm trying to think of who else. I like the little cat that does the little hyper pop rap, like David Shawty from out here. Um, man, yeah,
Okay, I got some homework to do then.
few cats to tap into. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah,
yeah, I know there's a lot of young cats doing that thing out here too coming up. Cat out here, Highway, he's
Highway.
filthy. Um, yeah, man. So check those cats out.
Yeah, I got some
I'm
homework to
sure
do
I forgot a
tonight,
few,
man.
but yeah, I'll be keeping
Yeah,
my
it's
ear.
all good.
I'll be trying to stay like see who's dropping. You feel me?
Yeah, another question we got is, does Seattle have a music scene? I always like to know this about new cities, man. Is that
Yeah,
true? Does it have a music scene?
yeah. Seattle's got a nice music scene. You know, it's definitely changed a little bit, and I'm just kind of getting back out here after the pandemic and stuff. So I know it might be different, but there's some,
Hmm.
you know, it's some historical, like in a historical sense. There's definitely been a scene here, many scenes, grunge. You know, a lot of people know us for the home of grunge. You know, Sir Mix-a-Lot, cats like that. But
Really?
even
I didn't
like
know. Makes a lot. Wow.
yeah,
Okay.
he's from out here. And then even like for myself, like when we came up, the scene was like some of those people I mentioned. It was like a nice underground scene that I was a part of coming up.
Hmm.
Um, it's kind of changed now. There's a lot more young artists, but there's totally a music scene. And hopefully it gets more spotlight shined on it. There's a lot of people that end up coming from here. Sometimes you just don't know they from here, or
Hmm.
like producers and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, there's a little scene. It's not huge though, but there's a lot of artists from out here though. A lot of artists.
Right. I
Oh,
definitely need to come to Seattle.
a lot of cats don't know, but like Jake One, he's from out here. He's a producer. He done did song like produced for like Rick Ross, 50 Cent,
Hmm.
Jay-Z. Like he's like the OG big homie. Vitamin D. He did like he's a producer from out here. He did the theme song for Power, that show Power.
Hmm.
Um, and like all kind of other stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of
Okay.
big producers that have been from here.
I'm definitely gonna check out Seattle, man. I got a girl I used to date. She lives out there. Maybe she let me crash with her or something. I don't know. I'm gonna
Yes.
definitely pay a trip out there. Let's see. We're gonna answer a couple more. Then we gotta let Keyboard Kid go. So let's get to this next one. What we got here? What was one of your favorite shows you played? Oh, that's a good one. You might have already said that one, I think.
Man.
Or that was the video moment, but a show,
Yeah,
an
that was
actual
the
show.
moment. But a favorite show, man, there's a few, man. There's so many. We done so many fun shows. One of my favorites though, one of my favorites though was Lyrical Lemonade Festival out in Chicago.
Oh, nice. Heard about that one.
I'm pretty sure, I think it was the first one. I think we did the first annual one out there. So shout out to Cole Bennett. And yeah, it was fire, man. We did that. Like, I was playing the record. Twista came out on stage and rapped a bit with Lil B. And I love Twista from like youth. So that was like a big thing. I was like, oh shit, I just DJ for Twista basically. So
Yeah.
that was cool.
He's a cool cat, man.
Yeah, another one of my favorite shows was in Houston, and Jay Prince Jr. and some
snap.
Prince family came out, and Bushwick Bill, before he passed away, rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace.
And his son Bushwick Jr. Shout out to Bushwick Jr. That's my guy. They came to the show and we got to hang with them, so that was real fun too.
Man, that's a blessing, man. Yeah, we met Twista out here when he came to El Centro Festival here in Dallas, man, and he's a cool cat, just real chill, you know what I mean? And if y'all don't know, Twista really does rap like that. There's no cap. He really does rap like that, bro.
Oh yeah, he's
right.
a goat.
Yeah, he's a goat for real, just like Bone Thugs. Shouts to Bone Thugs, you know what I mean? This is the last question right here. So, do you know Relly Real? I think you might have already mentioned him earlier. Maybe?
I don't
Relly
think so.
Real.
I might know Relly Real.
Okay, I'm gonna type him in too. I'm gonna look up these artists. Is Relly Real from Seattle?
It looks like he's from Seattle.
Oh, looks like that is you, Relly Real. I was like, he's pretty much saying, "Do you know who I am?" kind of shit. Yeah. I'm gonna look you up, Relly Real, and check out your shit, bro. You know what I mean?
Check him out. Shout out Relly Real.
Yes, sir. I like how I did that. Do you know Relly Real? I was like, yeah, you are Relly Real.
Yeah.
Boy, y'all crazy on here, man. So, hey, man, Keyboard Kid 206 from Seattle, man, is tuned in. If you're watching this on Spotify, YouTube, SoundCloud, whatever platform we got this on, make sure to like and subscribe and follow our artist. I'm going to put all of his information down in the link below, the bio, the description, whatever you want to call it. And guess what? He's got merch. He's got new music out. He's got old music out that you need to cop. Bandcamp. He's got it on Bandcamp. Y'all remember Bandcamp? That's one of the best platforms out, man. He's got new music dropping right now, and we're going to put all that information in the link below. Make sure you cop Keyboard Kid, man. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Thanks for having me, brother. Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Peace out. And I'm going to shoot you in the DMs, man, that controller and some other things, man. I really do appreciate the time, man. I need to definitely cop something from you.
Hey, definitely. Let's stay linked in. You already know.
Yes, sir. Peace out, man.
All right, family.